Welcome to this episode of Sema ADC. My name is Catherine Muraga and I lead the team here at Africa Development Center in Nairobi. Today I am excited to be hosting Dr. Paula Musuva. She's an assistant professor at the United States International University, or also known as USIU, here in Nairobi, Kenya. Dr. Paula, karibu sana.
Asante.
To kick us off, we just partnered as ADC and USIU, embarked on a program for faculty skilling, which I also know you participated in, where we trained lecturers from both public and private universities. Maybe you can share with us your reflections out of that engagement at a personal level, maybe also at a university, some success outcomes.
Yeah.
Karibu.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And I just want to really say thank you to Microsoft for the opportunity to have participated in the faculty skilling program. It was a very intense program, but very exciting. I think one of the things that we learned was just how to connect with other lecturers, other faculty. It's not an easy thing for a faculty member or a professor to come back into class and to be taught data structures and algorithms, which is like a very foundational topic that you cover, I think, in second year in computer science.
Absolutely.
Which is my background. But I think what was very exciting about it is that it had a really fresh take about, using the tools that are currently there and taking an approach on the current way in which tech companies are looking, even at our own graduates. It was very collaborative. I remember having worked in a team with peers in Moi University, in JKUAT, and Multimedia University. So this is how we do it here. What can I learn from how you guys are doing it there? And also just building those networks. So I think it was a really great experience in those ways.
Fantastic. As I'm listening to you, some of the key things that are coming out for me is the humility to embrace a growth mindset.
Yes.
We call it here in Microsoft embracing a growth mindset, that we pride ourselves, we say we are not know-it-alls. We endeavor to learn it all.
Yeah.
So just the humility as an assistant professor, as a PhD holder, but just going back to class. Yeah. But also something else that I'm picking, which I think is very key, especially for an audience of students still in university, to pay attention to those initial courses, things like data structures. Because at times it's very easy to, you're young, you're in campus, to disregard some of those courses, yet they are very key at the job market. Exactly. Thanks for that. Let me switch gears just a bit. Give us a view in terms of course, you're in the private university space. Yeah. What are you seeing in terms of STEM enrollment and give it a gender lens?
Okay. Because
at the workplace, one of the things we continually endeavor is to really recruit a lot of women to take up engineering courses, roles across from entry-level, mid, and senior. But what are you seeing from an academia perspective, and specifically for you from private?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gender component is very, very important in this discussion. So I've been working at USIU for 12 years now. I started in 2011, September, so it's about 12 years. And one of the things that I've observed is that in the classroom environment, you're probably going to have a good enrollment ratio. Well, it's not at parity. It won't be at 50%. Probably I'd put it maybe at around 30 to 40% in terms of the women enrollment in class. But still, you'd have a majority of men in the classroom. When I look back at my campus days, we were only 4 ladies in a group of about 50.
Wow.
Yeah, in Jomo Kenyatta University. So things have improved in terms of enrollment in the class. Now, when I look at the work environment, in many companies, that ratio is not carried over. If you're lucky, I think you'd have maybe the 30% carryover into a workplace environment or 40%. But I think what you typically tend to have is around 10% or 15% thereabout of women representation in STEM in the workplace. I think there are 2 ways to look at it. It could be from a systemic and structural way, but it could also be from the women themselves perspective. Because if a system or a an opportunity has been opened and created for the women, why then do we not have the women take it up as much? Is it an issue with their own self-confidence, their own motivation, their own ability to see themselves being able to take up those roles and actually thrive in them? So I think systemically, and just how we raise the women in our communities and how we encourage them to take up these careers is very, very important. Yeah.
You've reminded me of a phrase I love to use often.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
Yeah.
A challenge also to parents.
Yeah.
What's a narrative?
Yes.
And are we allowing the girls also to participate in some of these fields? Yeah. Let me go back to the collaboration between ADC, USIU as an example. Yeah. Given what you've seen, and you've enumerated some of the successful outcomes and also the possibilities, and I like what you said that, yes, it's one lecturer from this university, but lecturers also tend to teach in different institutions, so the multiplier. Yeah. What would be your challenge to other either tech companies in this market or enterprises that are like-minded with what ADC has done in terms of opportunity to partner with the world of academia? Yes. What challenge would you throw at them?
I think the challenge is come back to academia and participate in setting up of the curricula in terms of what is actually taught and in really mentoring the students to become the product, can I say the person that you would want to hire. So it can be at a curricular development level, especially when designing the courses at the place of these courses being designed. But one of the other things is continuous review. So you can't have a course that was launched 15 years ago, still using the same methods and models and curricular course outlines. Really, there has to be ways of reviewing that on an ongoing basis. At least in USIU, one of the things I really want to applaud USIU that it does, and we've been partners since, I think, 2008 with Microsoft as an academic partner, is that we review our curricula every year. We go back to the learning outcomes that we've set out, and we check whether we are delivering. And we do this over a course of 4 reviews before now reviewing the entire curriculum to see whether we need to overhaul it and come up with something new. You spoke into this even as you were launching the Faculty Skilling Initiative, where you said, let's have students start projects early. Why do we have to wait for them to get to 3rd year, 4th year to do their final year project? So throw them into the deep early enough for them to also start interacting and innovating. So I think those are some 3 things that we could really have tech companies try and do even in order to correct the situation. Yeah.
Dr. Musuva, it has been an absolute pleasure hosting you in today's episode of Sema na ADC.
Asante.
Myself, and I'm sure also for our viewers, will greatly benefit from the rich insights you've given us. And especially, I'd like to call out on parents raising girls who have shown an interest in the world of STEM. Give them an opportunity. Dr. Musuva and I, for example, are testament that you can grow a thriving career in the world of technology, or let's stretch it, STEM, science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode.